Hey guys! So I got a chance to do some crafting this weekend after I cleaned my studio up a little bit. So I wasn't, falling all over stuff or having to move stuff around just to get at stuff. So yeah, finally picked up in there. So I could actually use it for crafting. But anyway, I wanted to share with you some things I've made over the weekend. I used this Concord and Ninth gingham stamp set. It's actually called Plaid Background. Because you can make plaid too. And I used my stamp positioning tool to do this. It was a little bit of a trial and error for me, but I prevailed in the end. So this is some craft cardstock that I stamped on with real red to make the gingham. And then I decided to go ahead and put the plaid in there. So the black is some VersaFine ink, and the red is some Stampin' Up! Real Red. And then I cut some die cuts. This is a bow from Paper Tray Ink, and that is in the Real Red cardstock as well to match. And then I just edged it with some black ink. And then I used this die cut that I had hanging out. This is a Tim Holtz die cut here from gold cardstock. And then I used a edger die that I have from MFT. It's a scalloped and stitched edger die to kind of just cut that edge off because I missed a piece. I wasn't lined up properly. So I just thought that would also make it a little bit different looking. But yeah, that's my outside of my card. And then here is the stamped greeting on the inside. So that's the card that I made. And then I went into my studio and cleaned up and finished off the makings of this cloche that I had started to put together. It is a glass cloche. It comes with a base, but I chose to use the birch chips that my husband cut up for me. And I put some of the Prima paste down to make the snow. It's this stuff right here. And put some trees down here. There's a red truck that is from the Paper Tray Ink Wonderland kit that came out in September. If you guys are still interested in the kit, they're restocking it until December, but you have to make sure that you're on that Notify Me list because it sells out. The first restocking of it was Monday and it sold out during the day sometime really quickly. But I put some of the trees down in here. These are just trees from any box craft store. And this one I cut the base off of because it was a little bit too tall to fit in the truck. And plus, usually when you get a tree from the outside, you cut it down yourself. It doesn't have a base on it. So I just added some snow to the trees as well to make it look more snowy. And then I used this gingham ribbon from Hobby Lobby and tied it around the base after I glued the base down to the wood chip. I didn't use hot glue here. This is liquid glue that is from Helmar. It's the quick dry kind. And then I just added some of these holly berries and acorns and leaves. These are also from Hobby Lobby here. So that's my first cloche for the year. And my glass cloches came from Joann's last year. They were on clearance at the end of Christmas, after Christmas, and I just bought a couple of them. And the nice thing is if you don't use the base, you can always use the base later on and use one of these wood chips on top of it and just have an open scene as opposed to one that's under the glass. So this is an ornament because mine have a loop in the top that you can hang it on the tree with. So there's that one. And then I decided to do two of the Tim Holtz jars, the vintage jars that he's had out for a while. They have this little mechanism where you get the lid and this stand and a clip at the top to hold a picture. And so I made mine into a little scene. The lid still comes off, so I'm going to fill this with some treats, probably in a very festive red color. And so I used again some of these trees here. These are gray. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby, but I'm not sure because I've had them for over a year now. These are some Tim Holtz deer. And then again, I used the Prima paste here. I use both hot glue and my Helmar glue to glue down the trees because I want to make sure they stick. So the hot glue is more to just keep it in place while the Helmar glue dries, because I know the Helmar is going to keep it in place. And then I added the snow before I glued the deer down because I could get into that space in the back. And then I tied this ribbon around the lip of the jar, and put this snowflake button here, and then added this little charm. It's a red bell with two green leaves, and I just think it's, you know, a really nice touch. Now, on the clip, this is one of the new Tim Holtz Ideology Christmas items he came out with this year. So I was really happy that it was the right size for it. But yeah, this is the jar I created to hold some really cute goodies in it. And then you can see around the back. And so I decided to do a second one, but instead of doing the silver, you know, the silver is the normal color of the jar top, I used some gold, Inca Gold. It's called Inca Gold, I think. But this is actually like an antique gold color that I spread all over the top and in that center piece that comes up for the clip. So I just wrapped some gold braid around the lid and then hung this red snowflake. It's actually a metal snowflake that I had in my stash. And then this uses the light green trees and a brown deer. And then I added the snow again to the top to make it a wintry scene. And this one says Merry Christmas. Of course, you can see that I added snow on the clip too. It's like it just freshly fallen snow, or it's still snowing because the deer's got it on his head too, and his back. So I really like doing these little scenes, especially for Christmas. So that is what I made this weekend, and I hope you all got some crafting in and have a great week. Bye for now.